Alright, welcome lobsters and ladies. Let's start our first cast ever. And we'll go ahead and play that. And we can see the game's just getting started. Who is this over here? Sabbath. To the bottom left we've got Radavvadra doing the Jumpbot factory. Anonymize 737 is Cloakybot factory. And Sabbath is going spiders. Looks like they've already got some plans to go take this north hill over here. The center mexes in the middle of the map and expand all the way to the right, which they do end up doing. In the top right, we've got maackey, me, mojjj, in yellow going Rovers, and filch, which hasn't made a base, strangely enough. Doesn't actually capture any of the mexes, just places a couple of LTs in radar. I suppose that's fine. I've lost a pyro up here to a couple of these glaives, but I did manage to hold them off for a second, though that doesn't really help me much since Radavvadra's commander pops up here. He's already level 3. So he's going to take out another pyro pretty quickly. And a couple shots and he's gone. So he's going to set up here, collect the mexes. There's nothing we can really do about that for now. Anonymize is also sending out these glaives. Sits him on the low ground, I guess, to keep him out of vision. Filch has still not set up his factory, but he does like these LLTs that keep him relatively safe from a single flea, maybe 2 over here, but honestly, at this point he should really probably set a factory up and started adding mexes. I can see in the center here, he's making rovers, and mojjj is building up a pretty sturdy assault force. It's not going to do excellent raiding, but it'll be a nice backbone. Let's go ahead and clear these map marks. So, who is this? Sabbath is heading up north, trying to attack these Ravagers, but can't do much all alone. It needs its buddy to help out. I don't know, the spiders have the advantage on the cliffs, but the Ravagers are pretty tanky. They are tanks after all. Light tanks. However, ooh, looks like the damage dealer has been taken out. And I'll have to retreat for now. In the meanwhile, Anonymizes Reaver is coming in, and he'll make short work of these guys, actually. Mojjj is smart to retreat. There's nothing much he can do now. These 2 fleas sitting up here from Sabbath are also going to keep tabs. He knows, he's got line of sight, that Filch has still not made his factory. It's just surrounding several laser turrets. 5, 6, 7 are just his. I'm coming around and trying to boost up our economy, because we are going to desperately need it, especially if they've got both these hills. However, Sabbath has not yet taken these, and Filch just now is finally putting down his factory. Mojjj has got an impaler out here to deal with not much pork. He's probably firing at the radar dots, which is not going to be accurate. Sometimes with the mexes, it's better to see exactly where they are on the ground and attack where you know that the mexes are going to be placed, because in the older versions of Spring you could have them sitting out on the side and they'd have a radius around to which they could collect. But nowadays the mech spots are pretty stationary and static. Now, what's Anonymize up to down here? He's making a few scythes. These are good subversive units. They can go around, sneak. They have cloak, very hard to detect. But we knew from beginning that the glaives took out the pyro, that these are always an option from the Cloakybot factory. The Impaler doing good work keeping these mexes down, but it will go down to these scythes, unfortunately. So, Anonymize is also doing a good job expanding over here. The economy, they've got their geothermal power plant a little further ahead, but they have a few more mexes. Scythes trying to sneak in around here. This was a terrible idea, leaving that Firewalker alone. But at least all the scythes have gone down. These Razorbacks and Venom are pretty decent against these Ravagers. However, they are a little bit squishy and they do go down pretty quick. Down to the south right, southeast. These glaives coming in, not going to do too much. Maybe they'll be able to take out the mechs. But it survives. These Ravagers coming in, and they're going to push that away. Up in the northeast here, we've got a Jack coming in. He's starting to decimate these wind generators. Pyro is not the best answer. Does do friendly fire damage, and the fire literally burns stuff down. These windmills fall like paper, but eventually this Jack should go down without a problem. Might take out a couple more mexes. Meanwhile, over here we've got Filch's Spider Factory is fighting against Sabbath's Spider Factory. Hermits against Recluse. Recluse are pretty good. They've got the range advantage. However, these Hermits might be able to kill this Guardian, especially since it's stunned out from this Widow that we've seen. I haven't seen before. These Ravagers come in at the last minute to save Filch's commander. So good teamwork there. Now, this level 4 commander, what does he have on him? Personal shield, auto repair, ablative armor plates, high density plating, lots of armor, slam rockets, long range rocketry. He's pretty decent, should be at taking out artillery abort, which fortunately, oddly enough, Seb's plan has not quite gone according to plan. He hasn't been able to move constructors out here yet. Meanwhile, Radavvadra is just cloaking up. There's a Cloakybot factory. Maackey's Jack is about to try to take down this Gauss turret, which is a pretty heavy, sturdy thing, but it's not going to be able to get much else. These Faradays are pretty good versus Jack. He does manage to jump away and escape. Down here, the Ravagers are making good work of these defenses that they're trying to build up. The Knights are pretty good at assaults as well. You're going to have to be careful of that. But these moderators come in and help with that fight fairly handily. In the west, we've again got Recluse versus Hermits. The Hermits, if they can get close, they can do some damage. I'm not really sure where these Recluse are going. Really, they're most effective when they've got critical mass. They can be a little bit spread out, and the volleys just destroy huge chunks of army. And the firepower is pretty difficult to stop. Mod switching over to Badgers. Not entirely sure why. Perhaps, yeah, I don't know. That's an odd choice. The mines are pretty good versus lighter units. But a lot of these units that Sabath and Anonymize have been putting out have been the heavy tanky stuff. Sabath over here, he is building up and taking this left side. These recluse should really try to stay out of range. They're not going to be very good going into these missile turrets. You really need a few more, because otherwise they die. They are very soft and squishy units. On the other hand, Jack's pretty sturdy. These are coming in and wreaking some havoc. Mojjj does have a nice heavy laser tower up here to defend. Few actually, but these Jacks are pretty damaged, so they will have to retreat. There is a Firewalker up in the northeast, taking out some of these cloaked units. Trying to push in here a little bit. That actually is doing pretty effective against these knights with the damage over time. Up here in the northwest, we've got another army of hermits that are just recluse versus redbacks. I'm not entirely sure. Redbacks are good versus fleas, good versus a lot of the lighter units. Sometimes recluse can be subject to raiders, and they're very squishy, so they do get down quickly. It's good to protect them. Again, see, like the freeze, they come up, they can attack. Just one or two won't do much. These badgers, I mean, keeping at bay, the Impaler is doing magnificent things. Taking out these turrets that are decloaked with Firewalker. This is actually a surprisingly good combination versus cloaked. The fire surrounds an area, does continual damage. A Graviton Beam captures these Jacks, but they jump away. It does look... They do try to escape those Ravagers, and enemy Jacks are quite a force to be reckoned with. One does get captured, but he's cooldown for jump is just about, so he could potentially get out of there if Radavvadra is paying attention. Of course, it gets caught again, and this Jack will fall. Now, Radavvadra is returning the favor and building his own set of Firewalkers, which are eating these recluse apart. He's finally got a critical mass, but when they're all clumped up, they're very susceptible to fire damage. So those, have to be spread out a little bit. You got to be careful with them. Might be a good idea to bring some engineers up here to fix and repair them. But along with the crab, they're starting to put out some big heavy units. This Ravager push into the main, though, might be able to take out some good stuff. This Firewalker will go down, as well as probably some of this economy, or it might just try to get out of there and prevent any more fire damage, keep his units. In the meantime, over the northwest, nothing much happening. It's pretty static. Some little back and forth. The Firewalkers continue to burn down the space, and they're making continual progress. Radavvadra is going to have to retreat as more and more Firewalkers and Badgers just saturate this landscape. And fighting has finally gone down a little bit. Not too many constructors on the map. There's a couple idle ones here by maackey. There's another one over here. He's trying to rebuild the mechs that were destroyed. Not too many. There's probably quite a bit of reclaim going on. 6,000 on the entire map. Let's spread out. It'll take a little while, but that's a couple good units. A couple crabs, a few Firewalkers. Could definitely provide you with a boost. Over here we do see mojjj is resurrecting some of these knights, which are good heavy assault units. The Impaler doesn't quite manage to have a bead on the Stinger. The radar dancing might is a little bit too much for it. Maybe with some spotting that would be good, but for now, it doesn't look like that Impaler is going to do much against the radar dots. Firewalker over here is going to slowly pick away at this crab. However, another crab comes in. It's going to wipe that out handily. What's this? A couple of widows come in. They get destroyed by that crab. Fleas are not the answer. Bam. One shot. They're all gone. In the meanwhile, down to the south, we've got some Ravagers coming in to try to destroy the Firewalker. It does get killed. Juggernaut juggling away the enemy units. The Impaler finally does get line of sight on the Stinger and takes it out. The geothermal plant might be next. These jacks all jump down now that there's not much defense, and they're going to do quite a number. Actually, these jacks might blow it up. Get a little damage in the process. Buildings 0K do tend to explode. They do take out the commander, the knight. There's not much here left to defend. Hopefully they get this metal extractor before they head out. But in the meantime, he's making good use of widows. These crabs, once they're stunned, they can't do much. But when they are bottled up like that, they're difficult to damage. You might notice he's building a spire underneath. Gosh, that Juggernaut coming back, but gosh, there's a lot of going on here. It's a pretty hectic battle. Some good Firewalker shots on these Hermits are going to slowly bring them down. They might take out the Stinger beforehand, but these Ravagers come on, and they're going to make sure they don't get too far into the enemy lines. The Firewalker on this side is doing a good job of keeping these guys back, although these are very tanky units. They've got a lot of hit points. They're a bit slow. These jacks do come in to finish the job, taking out the mechs. Hurt their economy just a little bit more. Up here, speaking of economy, this fusion reactor is providing some decent overdrive. The metal, let's see, southwest is at 54, northeast is at 66. 3 times as much overdrive. Plus probably some of that, yeah, it's coming from Reclaim. So definitely Reclaim is a huge factor. It's not, instantaneous game-winning, game-breaking, but it does definitely help in the long run. Over here, we've got some more Firewalkers from the Southwest team firing up, probably taken out as placeholders. Gonna probably try to attack these jacks as well. Some more assault battles going over here. Both these sides are relatively tanky, so it's a good, nice, slow slog. More crabs. Jacks spread out to prevent some of the fire damage from going on. Down here, we've got some Reclaim. Southwest has built a Lico, very powerful air unit. Fires tactical nukes. A lot of health, so it's very difficult to kill. He hasn't quite picked out a target just yet. He's probably wanting to look for something juicy. Firewalker's definitely worthwhile. Impaler, absolutely. That Impaler can do tons of damage to the crab, which is in a pretty good position. Sitting atop this peak, it's got quite a long range, and as you can see, the Lico is looking for the Impaler, does manage to find it, shoots it, takes about half health, and at that point, maackey starts to build some vamps to get on the reaction time, and this Lico will get healed up, and there's another one on the way. However, the Vamps do a pretty good job if you can get some static air defenses to do a little bit of damage. The Vamps can definitely finish off those Licos after they're fired. In the meanwhile, it's mostly just calm down artillery, firewalkers shooting back and forth. Cornea comes up to prevent radar. These jacks jumping out of the way to try to stay alive. Sleeko comes in. Does he have any other specific targets? Vamps do follow him. He's doing some damage. You can see the southwest. They are getting some reclaim. They're catching up. However, northeast is also doing the same elsewhere. So these guys down here doing a good job cleaning up. Lots of fire all over the map. The Lico does manage to hit something. Hits a Strider hub. It takes that out. However, it does not take out the Merlin. The second Lico shot does. However, does he get away with both of these? No, one Lico has gone down. So it paid a little bit of a price. Lots of flyer going from both sides, both jacks attacking each other. Handful of jacks over here run away. I don't know if one of these will die or not. Some of these constructors down here do get burned alive for their reclaiming efforts. As always, reclaim is excellent. However, if your constructors die, there's not much there. Commander caught out in the open, just level 1 from Sabbath. He's got some planes, not quite enough to finish him off, but he will have to be careful from now on. Jack's retreating back. There's no use staying down here for them. As all the mexes are dead, there's no more constructors reclaiming all the metal. And it is in range of these firewalkers, which don't do quite a lot of damage up front, but over time they are particularly deadly. Up here in the northwest, we see Firewalker from Maackey trying to take out some of these stingers and heavy static defenses. A Lico does come in, and it will take it out. However, a couple of these Vamps do corner it. The Lico is half health. There's not much anti-air for it to get away. The stingers can shoot at air, especially when they're slowed down. However, they do manage to take it out and will die to the stinger. Holy cow. Stinger, great AA. Absolutely wonderful. You need to fight fighters, build stingers. In the meanwhile, down to the southeast, just fire back and forth. Firewalkers. I'm not sure why we've got this cloak here. The fire does pretty much hard counter it. However, it does give this Dante a few seconds of being hidden before jumping in here. A bunch of hermits come in and take out this base to the northwest. Geothermal power plant, at least. Some energy pylons. However, the commander, level 4, manages to stay alive. Got a fusion reactor right there. Economy. Ooh. Northeast is doing twice. Where's all the mexes for these guys? These are dead. These are going. So they've got about the same amount of mexes. Some of these are overdrived. Let's see, minus 1.2. Yeah, the northeast has consistent overdrive, which is constantly beginning a plus 13, 14, up to 20. Almost, not quite. Middle advantage. And over time, that adds up. That's 17 metal per second. So Dante is going to do quite a bit of damage when it's coming in here. Firewalker will attack him slowly. These guys do get hit by Graviton Beam, by the, I don't even know what it's called. The units have changed on me so much. There was, at one point, there we go, the Merlin. He's sitting back. He might take a couple shots and do some damage. These Ravagers will be... Oh, there we go. He wanted to wait until the Merlin shot to come in. Quite a lot of carnage going down. Dante sees he has nothing really left to destroy. However, mojjj's commander still survives, and he will be able to rebuild that army quite successfully. Firewalker does get taken out. However, in the meantime, Jacks down here in the southeast have been just slaughtering Strider hubs. Does take out the Merlin right before it finishes. And they're going to do some great economic damage. Sorry I can't keep tab on quite everything all at the same time. This Jack will go down. I believe this Jack does manage to at least kill one other. Ooh, they crab friendly fire. Friendly fire. But another Merlin shot. Oh, the beauty. Oh, the carnage. The destruction. It's amazing. This is quite a good unit. He does do a pretty good job, mojjj, connecting it. Down to the southeast, the blue team is concerned about these bandits coming in. Are they managed to do anything? They probably will. This Dante will make short work of them. This Jack over here does manage to find the commander, but the commander has a shotgun. Probably lots of upgrades to keep it alive. Friendly fire from the crab again. This crab is big traitor. Doesn't manage to kill the commander. These bandits get taken out pretty handily. However, yep, no more Cloaky. It does get destroyed. The Widow actually gets taken out. And yeah, we're back to a relatively peaceful spot in the game. Another commander gets taken out, however. He's hiding back here. Laser towers weren't quite enough to cut it. Radavvadra's also got a Cloaky. Oh, but he was visible, and the Merlin did fire. It didn't manage to take him out, however, he did scare him away. In the meantime, it showed him where these widows are, and they could quite possibly be able to stun him out if they do get a chance. However, he is running away. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. This Jack-ups here. Jack-ups up the mountain will probably manage to take out this chainsaw. More Merlin shots being fired down. Does phenomenal, fantastic damage. This Jack will probably go down. There's not much he can do. He's being perma-stunned by the Venoms. These Ravens, not doing much. They probably should have hit the crab. But in the meanwhile, these widows do manage to stun the commander. Is there any follow-up, however? I don't believe so. This widow's going to get taken out by the laser turret. He just barely gets away. Barely gets away. The Jack's still alive up here. Firewalker is taking out the defenses, slowly but surely. And some snitches are being created by maackey here. Might be able to take out... Nope. The Dante doesn't get anything done. Yeah, but they just explode. Completely meaningless. However, the Merlin is going to take a couple pot shots. In the meanwhile, let's see. This Widow has actually paused the Strider hub. Stunned it. So it's not going to be able to provide any build power while they're building Merlin up here. A couple Venoms freezing these Pyros. Not sure if much is going to be able to help them. Finally moving into the northwest here. Mostly the Firewalker being protected by some Moderators and Pyros. Redbacks and crabs are also going to bring up the rear to solidify that territory. Another Leecho has been made. Is probably going to take out this felon here. Bandits are going to die quite handily to these laser turrets. A couple more roaches being made. One does manage to hide itself. And he doesn't know where it is. And he is going to die for its efforts, though. Another Snitz goes over here, blow up anything that might be coming around this side, which is very lightly guarded. I mean, naked expansion sometimes is the way to go. Not a lot of resource wasted defending, especially if you can distract with units and mobilize. There really should probably be a radar turret right here. Dante of Mojjj does manage to come in, kill the Dante down here, and that's the game. We take a look at the unit statistics. Sabath and Mojjj, or Radavvadra, actually did pretty good with their metal. However, I think that's because Anonymize dropped out. So the portion of their metal went to these couple. So maackey actually used quite a bit of metal on the red team, and had the most at the end, with the exception of Radavvadra. Pretty good spike. Overdrive. Ooh, that's good to see. Started off relatively even, but as you can tell, each side had roughly half the map, but once the overdrive kicked in, it's quite a lot of resources. Metal reclaimed is it's looking alright. Yellow Mojjj didn't do a lot of reclaim. It's mostly left up to Filch and maackey. Both Sabath and Radavvadra did quite a lot. Kept him in the game for a little while. However, another issue is even though they might have had the most reclaim, they had a lot of excess. Over 1,000 each of them. 1,600 excess. So a lot of that metal that they were reclaiming was completely wasted. Completely wasted. That's constructor time, build power time that they could have been building units was actually used in reclaiming. It's kind of delicate balance. You always want to have enough build power to use your metal, but at the same time you need build power to reclaim. So energy income, again, Northeast built quite a lot of fusion and wind gens. Got quite a bit of overdrive. Some of these other value killed, value lost. Surprising, Mojjj did a pretty good job killing a lot of units. He was on the front lines for the most part. So that makes sense. And same with Sabath. Quite a bit of back and forth between both Filch and Mojjj. Value lost. Again, Northeast team was able to keep their units alive longer, especially near the end. There is a turning point, definitely here. I'm not sure entirely what that was. Damage dealt, pretty even. Damage received, what you'd expect to see.